broken wasteland. Come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host, Jason Gardner from Temptation's Wings, and the Alehorn is here as well. Jason, how the fuck are you doing?
I'm good, man. Labor Day weekend is upon us, so feeling good about it.
Yeah, it
Not
was,
that it really matters. I'll be working anyway.
By the time this is airing, it was a few days ago. So I want to kind of talk about Labor Day really quick. But before we get to it, our guest this week is Melissa Moore from Sonja. Fucking awesome Philadelphia-based new wave of traditional heavy metal meets goth rock meets, you know, just some awesomeness, awesome cool shit. We'll be checking in with her in just a few minutes. But yeah, Labor Day. Fucking, what do you do? What does the Gardner family do for Labor Day, Jason?
Dude, I go to work because I'm poor.
Do you go to work
I'm for real. I do.
Well, no, I know you actually do work a lot of holidays and everything, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you work because you're, quote, poor, or because you just, quote, can't get away?
Dude, it's because I'm just covered up and I just need to get stuff done, you know?
So, yeah, for me, the Labor Day thing is like, I just kind of sit at home. I don't really do anything. I might grill out by myself. I don't know. Usually not. I just don't. I look at it as an extra day off at this point.
Right.
And I
get paid for it, don't you?
Yeah, I do get paid for it. I do get holiday pay. But it's also the thing too of just like, is it a thing that do we really even understand where it came from back in the day anymore, or is it just another day off?
I never really thought about where it came from. I'm sure it's some kind of union stuff from the 40s, probably after World War II.
Sure. I'm sure it's because, you know, you get to I don't know, fucking praise the 8-hour work day.
Isn't it kind of like the unofficial celebration of the end of summer, kind of?
I think so.
Yeah. Or has it just turned into that? Like Memorial Day is the official start of summer now instead of what it's supposed to be about. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's Happy Cookout Day. And, you know, the 4th of July is now the Nathan's hot dog eating contest holiday.
I got no issues with that.
Right? No shit. No kidding. Because it's Nathan's hot dogs. You and your dogs of war.
That's all I use. My dogs of war.
We need to have a Nathan's and Dano's sponsorship, I think.
The Dano's one should be pretty doable pretty soon. We're getting there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's getting there pretty quick.
Maybe we'll have him on the show. We talk about metal music inspirations for all his flavors, if he has any.
Absolutely, and have him sponsor the cookbook.
Yeah, we need to get on that. But
definitely, that's another project for another time. But so no, what are you looking forward to in the fall, Jason? It's now starting to get cooler weather.
Yes.
What other than your show in November that was supposed to be Steel and Stone, but now Mountain meets the sea, hopefully, kind of thing.
Like or it might be the tidal wave just hits the side of a mountain. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know if we can fight back.
There you go. So what do you have? What are you looking forward to? Any cool tours that you're?
We got the the end of October. We got the Heavy Mountain Fest coming back. We also have a High on Fire playing the 12th of October at the Orange Peel here. And then we got some good albums coming out. And then that's just through like November. So December might hold some pretty good surprises too. Hard to say.
Definitely.
But yeah, the albums are coming out. So confirmed are Grand Magus, Opeth, and Ancients, the Canadian band with two eyes. And then maybe, hopefully, if the world deems it necessary, the new Night album will be out. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Then I know they've been working on stuff, but I haven't heard any announcements yet. But that's a perfect fall or winter kind of band to release an album. So fingers crossed we get that too.
Here is something.
Okay.
We didn't talk about this on the last monologue because of scheduling and stuff like that. We had to run, we had to go, and we had to keep it short and sweet. But I do want to mention one thing that happened in recent weeks that we should have talked about, and that is Friends of the Metal Forge, both Commander Vanek and Athanar being, Athanar being honored in the Cleveland exhibit of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for being a Cleveland band, putting his mask and leather jacket in there. Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, almost makes it worth another trip up there to go see it.
Fuck yeah, it does. And see, I'm only 5 hours away, but I've never been.
You should go. You should go. Like I said, the bottom two exhibits are really the only thing worth going for. It's where all the cool shit is. Once you get up to like the plaques with all the bands and the like signatures and stuff, it gets kind of boring from there. Sure. I didn't really dig it after the third floor, just the first and second floor, or the basement and the first floor, whatever it was. But
sure.
But yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. There's some pretty historic stuff in there if you know what you're looking for. We're looking
Definitely. But what's so rad about that is to be able to say, I know that person. Like that person, I've seen their shows like within like 6 feet of the stage,
right?
Or right on the stage, and I think that's pretty fucking cool, and that's an awesome accolade to have, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, when I went up there and whenever it was back in 2018, I guess, 2018 it was. I remember walking through the exhibits and like they had a Chimera, like drum head and something there. I was like, dude, how did this band get in here? And then I started looking around. I was like, oh, this is all like Ohio bands. Okay, so that made sense. So I mean, just because you don't get inducted to the Hall of Fame and you have stuff in the Hall of Fame, to me, it's basically the same thing as being in the Hall of Fame, because your name and stuff is going to be there. They had all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was like Halford's like leather jacket from the Hellbent for Leather tour. Slash's top hat from one of the videos from like Appetite. The puppets from like Alice in Chains.
Now, do you actually believe that like, say for example, like Hard Rock Cafe, they always had pictures of the person playing the instrument? And do you necessarily always believe that that's the real stuff, or
Hard Rock? No, they probably just bought a cheap one and put it up there with a picture, because Hard Rock's corporate. It sucks.
Sure.
I've been to one. I wasn't impressed. I don't even know why they exist, to be honest with you.
But as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, say for example, this was the top hat that Slash wore in the November Rain video.
Yeah.
I mean,
it might have been from that one, actually, now you say that.
I mean, regardless of that, because it was 1991. I mean, was it put in there almost immediately at that point? Does that make sense? I mean,
well, a lot of this stuff,
take some of that with a grain of salt, I think.
Well, a lot of the stuff that's in there is donated. I mean, they have a Steve Harris like P-Bass. Like that, the Rob Halford stuff is like it has the leather with the studs. So that the Alice in Chains puppets from like I Stay Away, I think one of the videos from Jar Flies, like the whole like claymation stuff. They have like that in there with a background. Looks like it might have been using the video. They have Metallica's Injustice stage set in there.
Interesting
stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it is. Like I said, as far as Hard Rock Cafe goes, I don't ever go.
Yeah, they're probably not.
I've been to one. It was like, what the fuck? This is pretty weak. So yeah.
I think most of them have closed now.
Yeah, the only one I've been to is in Gatlinburg a long time ago for whatever reason, because Jackie might wanted to go. So I usually don't go for stuff like that. I'm more about the independent restaurants and chains for sure, but for whatever reason we ended up there. We were there.
Hell yeah. No, so shout out to Athenar and the dudes in Midnight for that awesome shit. That's fuck yeah. Appreciate that.
The fact they got to play there is pretty cool, though.
That's like with
super
Manimals
heavy.
even, yeah.
That's super heavy for that place. I mean, I don't know, like.
And it was an all ages event too.
Yeah, when I went there, I saw bands there. You can tell just because like they're in the town for the day and need something to do. I don't know which bands they were, but I saw like at least 3 there while I was there. Didn't ask who they were or anything because I don't really like the star fucker thing. But yeah, I mean it's something to do. Like if you're playing Cleveland, like to kill some time. Like I said, the first 2 or 3 levels are the coolest stuff. After that, it kind of sucks. So.
Hell yeah.
And don't buy any records from their gift shop; they're overpriced.
Damn, he's on it today.
Well, dude, I wasn't gonna pay like $65 for a copy of Death Magnetic. Okay,
I wouldn't have paid $65 for any record.
it had to be something special.
It'd have to be like that Anno Domini box set.
Well, speaking of that, at the time,
that video's linked here.
At the time of recording on Amazon, it was 15% off, down to $85. And also, if you're a Van Halen fan and you're a fan of the Fuck album for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, or whatever it's called, that's on sale for a 2 LP, 2 CD, and Blu-ray box set.
Why are we promoting Van Halen on the Metal Forge?
Because I like Van Halen, actually. So there you go.
Because Van Halen sucks.
Well, I mean, maybe to you, but you know. According to the Shadebeast archive on the artist series, maybe not so much.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I can't do it. Sorry, I appreciate it, but I don't. It's just too fucking much. It's too flash. David Lee Roth is not a singer. He is a showman. He is a performer. I don't even think he's a good writer.
Oh, I don't think he wrote much of his own stuff. He's kind of, I think he's like Ozzy in that band.
It's all like it. I mean, Paul Stanley could have sang for Van Halen and it would have been the exact same band,
right?
Or David Lee Roth could have been Paul Stanley as a vocalist in Kiss, and it would have been the exact same band.
I don't know about that. I think David Lee Roth and Kiss wouldn't have worked.
You don't think David Lee Roth would have fucking sang "I Was Made for Loving You"?
I mean, he could. He was in like a Kiss cover band.
If that were the alternate universe where David Lee Roth was the front person for Kiss,
yeah,
I could totally see it working.
Which universe number are we talking here?
I mean.
Is it the same universe where I'm the host and you're the guest and the Metal Forge?
No,
not that one. Okay.
It's not that one either.
Is it the universe where you're actually a Van Halen fanatic and I don't like them? Maybe that one.
So if that were the case, would fucking Sammy Hagar be the fucking Vinnie Vincent of that universe?
I don't know, man. Sammy Hagar's had a lot more longevity of a relevance than Vinnie Vincent did. So I don't know. That's crazy.
Or maybe he would be the Tommy Thayer. I don't know. Because he also plays guitar.
Yes.
So who knows? Maybe he could be the new Ace Frehley.
Maybe. I mean, it sounds like a topic for another time, really. I can get into a Kiss Spiral because I was actually listening today, and I thought of a really good thing that you should do. If you can find a video for Deuce before the second chorus where Paul Stanley screams out "Do it," if you can cut in Palpatine saying "Do it," that would be amazing, dude. That would be.
I think I could do that. So we've been going on a minute here, just kind of riffing on the week and everything. So happy fucking September. We are just about a month away from another big goddamn metal show with Sanhedrin, Ulm, Midnight Hellion, Ice Howl, Wind Rider, Lavaborn, Vexing Hex, Idle Throne, Joe Grudge, Free Warren, Treason, Midnight Lounge Crew, and I think I got everybody.
Treason still needed a singer at this time.
By the time we're recording this, yes, they still need a singer.
Yeah.
So hit them up. We do have alternates out there, so in case something happens, who knows? But let's go ahead and check in, get in with Sonja here. This is not Black Sabbath's Neon Nights. This is Sonja's Nylon Nights. All right, metalheads, we are being joined with Melissa from Sonja. How are you today?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
Well, I am all right. By the time we're recording this, and I love the Blood Star shirt, by the way. I
They
just
rule. They
I
rule.
love the Motorhead tribute style stuff, and then with the cat,
Yeah.
of course. Just the old English with the old mutts, and then whatever you can put with the tusks is pretty much what everybody does. Like theirs is the cat.
Yeah.
We had somebody here in Louisville called Call Me Bronco. They did a horse skull with them.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it's always great. A good Motorhead tribute. It goes such a long way.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, like, I was actually having a conversation yesterday. It's like, without Motorhead, there's so many things that don't happen. Like Metallica doesn't happen. Thrash doesn't happen. The rest of metal doesn't happen. Punk. So many things in punk don't happen. Rock and roll. Just like so many things come from Motorhead, if you really
Oh
think
yeah,
about it.
absolutely. And yeah, it's like it was the band that Lars made Lars want to play music, I think. And so yeah, I mean, without Motorhead, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't happen. I mean, quite frankly, I mean, just take Ozzy's career, some of the songs that Lemmy had written for Ozzy, like Mama I'm Coming Home would never have happened.
Hmm.
So yeah, totally cool. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to talk to you about Sonja and this seemingly wildfire you all have caught over the last couple of years for sure. I know the band started almost a decade ago. It at least by the Metal Archives, that's what it says. But really, your all's first full length was put out in 2022, and you all did a single earlier this year. So run everybody else up with Sonja.
Yeah, I mean, we started playing as, our iteration, so long ago, but it took us so long to get to the point where we could kind of get an album together. Um, we entered the studio for the first time for an album in 2019 and did a lot of the music. Then, lockdown, COVID, all that happened. When that occurred, I recorded the vocals and which was kind of helpful for that process in a way because it was so focused. There was no distractions. It was something we could do. Like we weren't, people were not. I mean, we live in Philadelphia, so like going around in a city was difficult. So like
Sure.
we were able to focus so much on that, and then like it came together. And even after that, after 2020, 2021 was a crazy year too. So we spent that time with the mix and that kind of thing. So then we had our first record come out in 2022, and we had rarely played live at all in this band. We had with a lot of other bands, but it was very much like we're starting now once the album came out. Like there wasn't really like a gradual build to having an album. It was like, here's the album, here's the music video, and now we gotta start playing live. And since then, it's like, I mean, the way that people have been about it has been so cool to experience and to see and to meet people through it. And when we've gone out and played, it's just been really, really awesome. And I mean, people have been really awesome. Like we want it to be a really killer show. So we just like are always trying to make it better to what we want it to be and to what is going to be good. So, I mean, we're happy with the band, the progress that we've made in terms of being a live band. But I mean, I'll just personally say like, I just like want it to be even more and more and better. Like, just because I don't know, I see stuff that I think could be better about it too. So yeah, I mean, we're a band with one album, and we try. I mean, we listen to a lot of stuff, but we try to keep it to be like our own sounds as much. We go out of our way to do that, and not really. We're not trying to be like pigeonholed into like a genre or anything like that.
Well,
And
sure. And I do want to hit on that really fast. I'm glad that you brought that up. Is it's not anything like I've ever heard. For example, there is new wave of traditional heavy metal. There's new wave like with goth influence. There's there's so many out there. And to have a female vocalist, that is not necessarily, a high like a falsetto singing vocalist either. I think on to me, honestly, I hear all kinds of stuff in the music. I hear certain tag backs to I don't know. I can hear like Cranberries tag back stuff. It
oh,
seems,
cool. Yeah.
and I don't know if it's a conscious effort or anything, but like uh but there's a little bit of that. Then of course, there is the stuff like the priest and things that you hear in the music and the maiden type stuff. And yeah, it's just a whole thing. And I like how bands do that today without consciously, it's like style evolution.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, thank you for saying all that. I mean, I think, I listen to the Cranberries, so it's
Right. And
it's
and they
there, it's
rock.
there. Yeah, they totally rock. I mean, metal to me and metal is rock taken further. I mean, metal is rock and roll. Like that's what it is. It's we're playing rock and roll further along. That's what metal is to me. So
Sure.
there's nothing to stop things that are rock and roll from coming in. Um, but yeah, it's like it's there's a lot of energy on our end when we're like coming up with stuff, when we're thinking about what we're doing, when we're listening to demos and going back and changing stuff. It's like we don't want it to sound like it's something that we've heard, even though we like want the spirit of stuff that we like to be there. So it's like um
I
it's we try to stay undefined, but we are defined. Like if we put a word on it, it would lose the meaning. But like it is kind of, there are some things that are, we're not stuck in a box or anything like that, but we have parameters that we kind of like work with when we
Sure.
come up with something, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was gonna honestly say, and in the like the comparison thing here, is just sit there and say, there are bands like, again, like the one on your shirt, Bloodstar, that don't sound like anybody else but them. And Sonja is that as well. And I think that's probably one of the coolest things that the if being a musician myself, I think that's one of the coolest things is like nobody else sounds like us. So it's you know,
Right. Well, thank
so
you for
that's
saying
the
that.
cool
Yeah.
thing. And I think that's is it the ahead of the curve thing? Is it behind everybody? I don't know. But as you said a second ago, it kind of makes me feel like you said metal is just rock moved forward.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
we always
moved
forget
past
that.
this part, which in turn makes it feel like, it's the train station as analogy. It's like if rock is here and metal is here, and then like death metal and then grind, the each progression of either heavier or farther down the line. So being a person who has played in many different bands of many different genres, and then here we are with Sonja. Where do you get to the subtle point of saying that this is what I want to do rather than being in like a tech death or a black metal band?
Well, so yeah, Sonya's definitely a sound, and so many things about the sound in it are different than anything I've ever done, for sure. It's like most of my life I've been in like black metal bands or thrash or just extreme metal bands in general. I mean, grind, all kinds of stuff. So like really it was a matter of like I want to play music that I want to hear. I love playing extreme metal. It feels really good. I love playing fast. Like it's my whole body feels it and I love that about it. Um, but what I listen to more often is probably heavy metal or rock or these days, the past few years, even stuff outside that. So it's like it's not that often. It's like I was so far and so into in my mind and my listening extreme metal at a certain point in my life. It's the style that I probably feel the most comfortable playing extreme metal, I would say.
Sure.
And I'll lump in all of it to that, like just super fast, intense stuff. But it was kind of like, okay, like I want to play something that I want to listen to. So I mean, like I'm coming from like that's my background. Like that's like my DNA, like the extreme stuff.
Right.
It's certainly there. And same with my bandmates. Like we're all like that. And we've all been in many extreme bands. So it's kind of like for all of us to do something like this was different, but it was like, I'm on tour and we're listening to Accept all day or Scorpions all day, or like, my favorite bands have always been Maiden, Kingdom and Merciful Fate, which I consider to be the same band, just like it's the same vibe, and Manowar. So it's like okay, those are like those bands, and then on tour it's just most like rock, metal, but like just like even exploring stuff that like
Now,
that's
real
the cool thing
quick,
about being on tour. Oh yeah, yeah.
real quick here. You mentioned Manowar. Are you a transplant? Or are you like Philadelphia, like
Philadelphia,
li-
yeah, yeah.
for
Always,
life?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it seems like, so where I am, I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. It seems like the whole Northeast up there, like New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, they are a huge Manowar following.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I mean,
you
most of the
know,
people that I talk to, they that are from up there, that are in the metal scene, always cite Manowar, it seems like. And I'm just like, I'm I'm not really a big fan. I haven't really delved into Manowar too much, but maybe I should because I hear so much about them.
it might be.
I've
I
seen the
mean,
covers.
I
I've seen the
recommend you
album covers.
I recommend checking it out, but if it's either going to work or it's not. It's not really like a casual listen, I think. Like Manowar either gets you or it doesn't kind of. Like
Sure.
I never liked Kiss, right? I always disliked Kiss. And then I got into it all of a sudden. And I think people have described the experience of Manowar as being similar to that, like where it's like you either kind of hate it or you like completely love it. I don't think you can really be neutral about Manowar. Not there's nothing musically similar about it, but it's
Sure.
just
But
the
it's
level of
the
like yeah.
the camp.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the for me, man, like Eric Adams, the vocalist of Manowar, is the best vocalist ever. Like he's the best vocalist in metal, the best period. He's just the best vocalist. And it's like I don't listen, I'll be honest, I don't listen to Manowar as much as I used to, but I was listening to it like it was my favorite band. I would listen to it all the time and sort of it was just there's nothing quite like it. Like there's bands that sound like Manowar, but Manowar is very
Sure.
distinct in like the way that they deliver too. So
Right.
it's impossible to intellectually discuss Manowar. You just have to feel it, I think.
Definitely. Which again relates back to what we were just saying about having your own sound and being your own thing, which is awesome. So with the single recently coming out in April, here we are around the beginning of September when this is dropping. Um, what do you all have planned for the rest of 24?
So we had the single come out and we did a video for it, and that was right before we did a lot of touring. We went on tour in Europe and the US back to back. So as soon as we were returned from that tour, we've been writing the next album. So that's our biggest number one thing that we're doing right now is writing music to the point where it's the first time that this album has been our primary focus. Like there's other stuff we're doing. Like we're doing a tour of Greece and Cyprus in October. Um, and we have things in the pipeline, but in terms of like our primary focus, it's album. Like it's time to do that. Like it's it's very fun. It's a much different experience now to write for this album than it was for the last album. It was like stressful to write for the last album. This time it's like exciting. I feel like it's like
Sure, because the people have spoken and they've given it the two thumbs up or the four horns up or whatever, and now you get to write more so. And now you're just like, wow, so people like this, do they like everything? Which
and
is
it's
cool.
like yeah, and it's like we get to, it's like because we were used to playing extreme metal, I had to develop like a vocal style that is still under development, don't get me wrong. And just like kind of like we had to figure out we knew what it had to be, but it was a long path to get to there. And there's it's still a long path to get to where we want to be next. But like in terms of like what we come up with musically. But it's like there's some things that like it's just like when we get together and we're working on the music, it just like clicks like very quickly. And it's like we'll be working on something and then like two of us will be working on something and then the other one comes in and it's like it's right away everything they're playing is just fire and we're just like it's just exciting. It's just like it's really like we didn't tour we barely played live at all before we had an album. So it's like having toured and then now we're like writing it's just like there's like a different energy. It's cool. Like it and yeah, and like it's also great to go from like total like like a secret like seed basically to being like oh cool now I can't wait to play in this place and this place and that place like yeah it's a cool experience totally
Hell
um
yeah.
it could be very easy to be distracted and just be like let's just keep playing like gigs and going on tour because like we want to but it's like I think it's really important and we all think it's important to like majorly focus on the music part of it.
Sure. And in the scene part too, because the internet ultimately has made all of our quote local scenes, a lot smaller because you're in Philadelphia, right? I'm in
Yeah,
Louisville. Then we've got friends in here and here and here and there, and it's all with who and link up with in each individual city, which I think is completely fucking rad
yeah,
because
yeah,
it still reminds me of the old days, I guess. It's like, hey, I know so and so in Phoenix, maybe I can hit him up or
yeah,
her up
totally.
for a show. And it's something that's it's the ultimate currency in metal, I think.
The entire world is our playground. Like there's friends, we all have friends that like probably live across the world or in different places that we might even see as often as friends in our own town. It's like it's just
Sure.
cool. It's like it is very like worldwide. And I'm not even talking like just like going to see bands and like just it's cool. Like it's like the whole world is like kind of you see people from everywhere and you see them again. You don't just see them once. It's definitely an insane thing that we're all connected that way. No
Oh,
doubt.
for sure. And my question is, out of the time spent in the trenches and in the scene and everything, it's like if you could change any dynamic of it, what would it be?
Dynamic of it. I mean, one thing that I was actually just talking yesterday, this is just off the cuff, but this is where my head is. It's like I was kind of even being younger, I was always like annoyed and still am at how like punk and metal are so similar, but so like not like
No
on the same
crossover.
wavelength. Like there is crossover and it's there when I see that happening, I love it and it does happen, but it's like I don't know, it's just like there's like vibe stuff between the two that I think could cross over more and I just think attitude stuff too in the music as well. It's just weird how it's like they sound so similar, but there's like such like not I wouldn't even say division. It's just kind of I don't know. It's like I just think it's like we're the ones playing the loud guitar music with when we're yelling. Like it feels like it should be more on the same wavelength to me. I would say.
Sure. Yeah, there should be more crossover, is
Yeah,
what I think what we're saying here. Uh,
totally.
yeah, absolutely. Because there's some super rad punk bands that I would love to play shows with. But because I'm in a metal band, I try to make it happen. But it usually never really gets to that point because it's like things just fall apart. And that's like,
Sure,
oh
sure.
man, that would have been so fucking cool though to,
Yeah.
to play with these dudes or whoever. Because
I'm loving mixed bill shows lately too, where it's like the bands are not like all the same style, where it's like a bunch of different, even
I am
genre
the
wise. Like I
king of
love it.
mixed bill shows. I've been promoting mixed bill shows for over a decade.
That's the way to go. I love that. That's
Because
awesome.
again, as you said, and I totally agree with, rock is here and metal is past rock and so on and so forth. But it's so easy to be able to have mixed bill shows like with that kind of mentality, I think.
Oh
Because you
yeah,
know
yeah.
who can jive with who.
Totally. Yeah. It's almost like you're a DJ, right? You're DJing metal, punk,
Yeah.
rock, goth. It's like it's fun to think in that way.
Oh, for sure. And actually
Yeah.
that's a really interesting way of putting it. It's like being a DJ of the bands, essentially.
Yeah. A real
That
life band. Yeah, yeah.
um yeah, so totally fun stuff, but definitely looking forward to new music. That's
Cool.
always a plus because I always say content is king, and the more that, is be able to be written and released is great.
Well, it's like, even with that, you're right. I mean, content is, but like we it's like I think you, I, and all the, real metal people, we like want to be in touch with like the primordial essence of rock and roll and heavy metal, and we don't want anything that we do to be like rushed or fake or plastic or anything like that. So it's like the way that the world is now, it's like it's trying to pull all this like, you know, social media content, all this like crap, where it's like focusing on getting away from that and just like feeling the music and like making that be like what it is. Like that's like that's like one of the that's like one of the primary focuses I think right now that I like when bands are doing that, where it's like just keeping it real and raw and like not super like plastic or like based. It's like we live in the modern world. We have to exist within it. We have to like present stuff out on the channels that we all have. But it's like keeping the real old school spirit, like to me, is like
Sure.
so important. I mean, it's
Yeah,
everything.
I agree 100% with that. That's, because if you're not being real about it and keeping it to its realest point, what is the point?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no point. Totally.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I want to go ahead and switch over to the derailed segment. These are random questions about you as a person, but because you had mentioned the world being our playground,
All right.
being in rock and metal, this first question kind of relates to that. And it's, what is the most unique bar that you've ever played in and got to experience?
Damn, the most unique bar that I've ever played in.
Or just most unique venue you've ever played in?
That would probably be an aircraft carrier in Oakland, I think, or in the Bay Area. It's like near Alcatraz. There was a there was a metal fest, and it was I think it was called Slaughter by the Water, and it was bands playing on an aircraft carrier. It was wild.
I am fucking blown away.
Yeah.
It's like the USS Flag in real life.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I'm sure the sound, I mean, like from what I remember, the sound was just noise, but like just like it's it's cool to do something so crazy like that, you know?
Sure. No,
Yeah.
that is. And yeah, it probably was noise because just being out in wherever that was, like the Bay Area. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, you would think that a working aircraft carrier would be a little bit loud,
Yeah, it was
not to
I
mention the
mean,
metal that's going on.
I salute the concept of it totally though. And like, I've tons of bands do this, but I love when there's been like outdoor stuff, like just like in the woods, like not even on a stage kind of thing where it's just like really renegade in the woods type of stuff is very cool too. I guess in the last tour we just did, we played in a bowling alley. That was awesome. It was a good vibe.
Hell
Um,
yeah. Yeah,
I love that.
there's a
Like,
couple of them. There's one in Nashville called East Side Bowl, and there's one in like Youngstown, Ohio called West
that was the
Side
one.
Bowl.
That was the
Hell
one. Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
venues, both of those venues are amazing looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it totally brings back the 70s vibe. The one in Nashville is great. So
I haven't
I
seen
do
that
love
one yet.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that one. What could you have done differently from your past?
Hmm. Uh, I don't have many regrets, you know? It's like, but like this is a good thing to pontificate on. What could I have done differently from my past? Uh, I don't know, like kept certain records and stuff like that, and things that are worth way more
Interesting.
right now.
Ah,
Um,
that's a subject right there. Now, like records as in like somebody else's music, or records as in like your music that could have been produced and published and never did.
more like kept physical records instead of selling them is what I was referring to. And but like that was always like, if you move a lot, then you have to like get rid of stuff. So it's like, all right, I'm tired of
Sure.
carrying around like vinyl and the CDs and all this stuff. And it's like, I like, for me, like on vinyl, I like listening to black metal, doom, and like other like ambient stuff. So like for some reason like thrashier or death stuff I don't care about as much on vinyl. It's just like I like the listening experience
Sure.
differently. So I got rid of a lot of that stuff because I needed to make space. I'm like, damn, I had some like really cool shit though that I don't have anymore, you know?
Right. Like
It's all right.
the copy of Kill 'Em All that everybody wants and shit
Not
like that.
that good. Yeah, yeah.
Not
I
not
wish.
that high end.
I wouldn't have gotten rid of that. No, I promise that. No.
No, no,
Yeah.
for sure. I no, I think it is a thing where certain media sound or certain bands sound better on certain media. And I think you're absolutely right. Black metal and stuff on vinyl does sound a lot better. It,
I mean, like, I
the
was lucky that
sonic
I,
quality is where it needs to be.
yeah, like King Diamond Them, right? Like that album doesn't sound good on CD. It just doesn't, or digitally, but it sounds good on vinyl. Like
Sure.
I was lucky to get that for not that much. I mean, due to my age, like it came out when I was too young to have gotten it, but like I had it on CD for so many years. I'm like, why does this album sound so shitty? Like it's so weird. And then as I got the King Diamond Merciful Fate records, the record sounds amazing. Like the old press, I'm like, oh, okay, like that makes a lot more sense there. But
Sure.
yeah, it's like I don't know, like death, certain stuff like death metal on vinyl. That's a good question. Like, is death metal good on vinyl? I guess because a lot of it depends. Like maybe if it's an old press and it was recorded and like mastered and mixed with that in mind, but like I don't know. I don't know if I like that better on a digital sound or high, like a high res digital sound,
I
or anything's better on vinyl,
I
but
know a
you
new
know what I'm saying?
and the technology change for that has been so amazing. Where yeah, you do get a lot of those first run CDs that sound like complete shit from a record transfer or whatever. And then, now where you have specific mixing to a digital platform versus a record, and you could get both of them from the same artist and they be a different mix. And I love that. And
That's
is
cool.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like, so you have the most sonically sound mix. I think that's so fucking rad. Um, but to make the joke is about the black metal on vinyl sounding so good because it mimics the Fisher Price tape deck that it was recorded on.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like
I
okay,
kid about that, but
no, that's
no
awesome. That's
shame in the
right.
game, I
Yeah.
guess.
Like for example, like Metallica, like one of the old cassettes, the first cassettes that I ever got was Master of Puppets, right? So it's
Sure.
like it's awesome to hear it on CD or something, but I don't think I've ever heard a Master of Puppets old press vinyl. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of that happening. But listening to that on cassette is a different experience to me that like feels different, and I love that. It's like I want to hear Metallica on cassette just because that's like
Yeah,
where I heard it.
it's
Like,
how
yeah,
you were introduced to it.
yeah, yeah.
And I think that's definitely a thing. So you had mentioned Kiss earlier, and when I was first introduced to Kiss was when I was, like 10 years old and seeing Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, yeah.
And and then calling the radio station back in the day and saying, "Hey, will you play rock and roll all night?" And they play the live version. And it's like, this isn't the same song. This what? What
Yeah.
is this shit? What is this live shit that they're doing? But then, it made me appreciate it even more when I got Dressed to Kill. But
Oh,
as
cool.
per listening, I love listening to prog on vinyl.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's just whenever I want to listen to Aqualung, I will listen to like one song digitally. But if I put it on vinyl, I'm listening to the entire fucking thing. So
There's something about that. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and I
weird. It's
total
weird though with like a classic recording like that though. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, like this is like so much the energy of it. It's weird though now with everything being recorded so digitally. Yeah, people record the tape sometimes, but like with everything being touched so much digitally, when it goes onto vinyl, it's almost like, are we just lying to ourselves? I mean, it does sound better, but it's not, it's like a shadow of
what it
what
was
you're
originally.
describing.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's also, everybody presses 180 gram today,
Yeah. I
and
don't like that.
which is digital quality. Now, if you went to 140, then it would be like the old days. But I don't know a lot of places that do that anymore. I think it's all 180 and that's it. And
A
which,
lot of it.
those discs
Yeah.
you can't break.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my one sadness is that I never got Don't Break the Oath old press. I had to settle for the 180 gram newer press, and it's worse than all the other stuff that I have. It's a shame. I don't know. I wish I
Sure.
had the original.
Absolutely. I get that. And
Yeah.
that's my thing too with my thrash collection is because I was introduced to thrash on CD. I get I do have first runs of most of those on CD,
It's
of
cool. Yeah.
especially the big four entire discography stuff. I all the early stuff, yeah, I still have like the shitty cover, as Dave says, for Killing Is My Business.
Cool.
Uh, do you use reward programs to earn cash back?
Not usually. That was a totally left field one. I like that. Probably should. Airplane miles would be very helpful at this point in my life.
Yeah, for sure, especially if you're going to Europe to tour or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, get the frequent flyer shit, get the hotel rewards.
I
If you
did.
stay in any hotels.
I used to do that, and then like the rewards programs all changed. So like I was like almost gold. I was so stoked. I was platinum. I was almost gold, but it was like we'd be rushing in the airport to get to the next gig, and then it's like we're so screwed. We're like late, and then it's like, oh wait, I'm silver or platinum or whatever, or not platinum. I was silver at the time. But even just that, like it's like, oh, you can come to the front and bring all your guitars through and everything. It's like it really is necessary. Like especially as awful as air travel has become in general, like it's insane to like bring all the like even just guitars and like the minimal drum stuff. It's like you, I'm glad we're having this conversation. I'm gonna sign up right away for the mileage stuff. I need to get back. I need to get back on it.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and depending on what you have to take with you is just like, are they considered like checked bags, or are you gonna have to like put it on like a pallet or something?
I I'm
And
gonna.
that's crazy shit to even think about with the touring with instruments and shit. So
It's like I want to like, can I walk down and load it in myself? Like, they won't let you do that, but it's just like I'm fine with it. I don't mind giving you the bag to put in, but like you're just gonna destroy this like precious instrument. Like it's crazy. I
that's
haven't
why
had that happen.
there's road instruments and there are studio instruments.
I got to bring the good one with me though. Like it's got to be the same. A lot of people do that, right? But it's like in my mind, it's like you can't give the show any less than the album. Like you got to be full on.
Sure.
So I'm like, I don't know. And then like when I get on a guitar, like when like, and I go through like decades of a certain guitar, it's like this 10 years is going to be this guitar. I guess I just acknowledge that now. What it's been like though. And it's like that's my guitar. Like I have to have it everywhere. Like so like if I ever break a string and have to play a backup, it's like
It
sucks.
doesn't feel the same. I get
Yeah.
it.
So I'm
No, I
so
totally get it. And I am very much an advocate for uh okay, so I'm in two bands right
mhm.
now. And other idea bands, like concept bands, project bands with other people, but not like anything committed. I'm that asshole that will not play the same instrument in two bands. So
Oh
like
wow. Okay.
me being a bass player, I will still play bass, but I will not use the same bass as another band that I am in. Like
Okay.
I love my Rick.
Yeah.
I love the sound that it has, but it is Overload's bass.
So
And
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to use it with Ice Howl, but I can't because I've committed to the Fender, so
So like you
and
like that's part of it for you is like the different project or the different band is like the instrument that you play is so distinct to it. Like it feels wrong to cross that over. That's part of it for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I would love to put this back in circulation, this Spectre, this beautiful fucking bass of mine, but I can't because it was number one for like a decade, or no, more than a decade, until 2 years ago when I got my Rick. It was number one, has played every show since like 2008. And no, I can't bring myself to take it back out.
It just doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't feel right. Uh its name is Barbara.
Cool.
Uh and no, I don't feel right bringing Barbara back out.
Yeah. Someday
So
Barbara may come and it might be her time to
to
completely
shine
say
again.
to shine and to just dominate, you know?
Hell yeah. If you could cover an album from start to finish, what would it be?
Album, start to finish.
The daunting task or the amazing, exhilarating task of covering an album?
Definitely a cool idea, and it's probably going to be a Manowar album. We have covered Manowar, but a lot of the times Manowar is a song band for me. Albums are great, but like the songs are more like I would want to do songs from different albums. And then like I think Danzig 1 is such a great album. We covered Danzig from Danzig 2. Um, what would be a great album to cover? Probably gonna do Manowar, maybe Sign of the Hammer, actually.
Right on. I
Because
am
when we
not
well,
familiar with it, but go ahead.
I feel bad. I feel bad because I want to vibe on Manowar with you. But Sign of the Hammer, was the first song that we ever played as a band. Actually, me and Jedrick, our drummer, when it's like, all right, let's jam. It's like, what are we doing? It's like, let's just play Manowar songs first. So then the first thing we did was play the song Sign of the Hammer. Then we played The Oath from that album. Then um we probably fucked around with Thor from the album. Like we just played songs from the album. Like we literally like did start. We didn't play the whole album. Animals, that song's amazing. Um, but like we were kind of doing that at first, so it's like there would be something special about doing that for sure. And it would just be fun. Like I would love to play all those songs. A full album that'd be hard to do of any band. That's crazy. Like I guess people do that like for like tribute band sets or like cover sets or something
Sure.
like that. But like
Yeah, but when you're an original musician, it's kind of hard to pick. I would
yeah,
go, I'm going big here. I'm going with like either the Wall or the White Album.
that's intense. That is very intense.
Just to just to get it out of the way so somebody else doesn't have to.
Yeah, gotta somebody's gotta do
Well,
it,
I
right?
mean, with the White Album, you get fun songs at least, like Bungalow Bill and Obla Di Obla Da.
You know what? Actually, okay, you know what album I'd want to do? Venom, Welcome to Hell. Because it'd be easy as fuck and it'd be fun as hell.
Ah,
The shapes would be
yes.
fun, you know. It's just like, do you ever watch that 1984 Venom footage where they're just fucking tough as hell on stage? It looks so cool.
Yes,
So badass.
I have it
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
There was a deluxe edition of Black Metal
Yeah.
that had that show where it was Venom, Raven, and Metallica
Insane.
in like Copenhagen or some shit or
Yeah.
in London or something like that. And like it's so fucking good. The footage is so good. Like everybody is like on fucking point and like Kronos plays like a different bass through like the whole set of like almost every song. There's one where it's like a normal one. There's one where it's an upside down cross.
Yeah.
There's yeah, and it's such a good show. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It's like
But
the
yeah,
one.
Welcome
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Hell would be a great one.
Yeah.
I would love to cover the song though, at War with Satan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the fucking whole like 19 fucking minutes of it or whatever. Yeah. I just love like long format songs. My ultimate like silly fucking cover band, original band like crossover is one time I wanted to play a 30-minute set and play one original song that was 3.5 minutes and then play the entirety of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, like all 11 parts.
Just one 3 minute other song.
Yeah. So play all of Shine and then go and then play like something like fucking Motorhead, like fast and loose, like super fucking
Yeah.
heavy, and then be done. Thanks. Thanks for your time.
Crazy. But dude, actually just talking right now, another one came to mind. I would love to do Iron Maiden Power Slave. I think that'd be
Oh,
sick.
yes. That's a
Yeah.
fucking banger. The,
Yeah.
9 song albums like that, perfect. I think that's
Rhyme of the
perfect,
Ancient
like
Mariner.
album length.
Like, yeah, it's like when I first got into Maiden, I just like was a little kid and I just thought their album covers were so cool. I would just go in the store and it was like that was when like there was the cardboard surrounding the CDs. Like, you remember like the tall cases where it was like a CD case in a cardboard box, like at the
Yes, a
CD
long
store?
box.
Yeah, like such a cool thing. But like I would just be looking at these Iron Maiden CDs, like this is so there's so many of them, like they're so badass, this monster on it. And the first one I got was Seven Son of a Seven Son because I thought it looked really cool. And the
Another
song was
fucking
called
banger.
Can I Play with Madness? I'm like, this is crazy, awesome. So then I went home, listened to it, and I was kind of disappointed with how it sounded. It's not a good first album for some kid that's like getting into like stuff like Metallica and like Danzig and stuff like it wasn't the right and I was like the 90s too. So I was like it's like I'm like god damn it, like this isn't as badass as I was hoping it was going to be. So then I'm like, I'm not giving up on this band. Then I got Power Slave. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Like, so Power Slave was the album that like made me go crazy for Maiden. And now Seventh Son is possibly my favorite album. Actually, Brave New World is possibly my favorite album, but Seventh Son is one of my favorite albums by Maiden. But it was like, it was hard to digest at first. The synth, there's a lot of synth on it,
Sure.
which is cool. It's cool, but yeah,
Right. No, I'm definitely a big fan of Seventh also. Because the first time I got to see Maiden live was the reproduction of the Made in England tour, where it
oh,
was
cool.
for Seventh Son. And
That's
they
awesome.
start with Moonchild, and it's just so fucking like you get to
Yeah,
that dun 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 dun. It's like
yeah.
and
Just
it,
like
and then
energy
it's like
building, like
yeah, the energy is built, the song, that's gonna set off the entire fucking night, and it did.
yeah, I think
Who'd
so.
win in an
Yeah,
arm wrestling contest, Bigfoot or Yeti?
I feel like I'm just going off my vibe on these two things. Bigfoot seems a little bit more humanoid than the Yeti, and I
Sure.
feel like perhaps like the arm wrestling being such like a human custom, Bigfoot might have a little bit of an advantage because of under. I feel like Bigfoot might have more of a human mind than the Yeti, which is more savage and natural, possibly. So I'll put my money on Bigfoot.
Hell yeah. And this is what's going to be funny is when this posts that like when Metal Sucks picks you up this is the moment that they're going to pick up. It's
Yeah,
like
it's like,
Melissa
oh, so
said this.
Yetis are savage and less human. Like,
Yeah. And then,
fucking cancel me.
yeah, then it's going to be
Yeah,
some fucking thing and it's going to go viral. And,
fuck Yetis. Like,
yeah, that's what it's gonna be just like this picture of the podcast, and it's gonna be like F star CK Yetis, and it's gonna be like this smear piece or some. No,
yeah,
I don't know.
people take things out of context all the time.
Oh yeah, they
And
do. Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it's only a matter of time. It's gonna come for all of us.
Right, for
Yeah.
sure. Uh, so I do have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, there are links below. Please give likes, shares, and follows. Do the things and all the stuff. Go to the Bandcamp pages, go to the web stores, go buy merch, go see them on the road when they are on the road, and hopefully they'll come to Louisville here soon.
I hope
Um,
so.
uh, we need to make that happen for sure.
Very sick.
And do you have anything you'd like to promote or any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody today?
Uh, Thanks so much for having me on. We're working on Sonja stuff. Uh, there's a band called CrossFitter that some people might know that we are finishing
Definitely
up an album,
familiar.
and also something new coming out soon too. So happy to be playing music, playing around with everybody. So yeah, just there's never going to be any shortage of music from my end. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it too.
Anytime.
Yeah,
For sure, anytime with that.
yeah,
Um, so a little bit of a silly question on the way out
yeah, yeah.
is when was the last time you posed like a superhero?
Probably today. every time, every time I walk by the mirror, like
Right.
I can't help myself.
I had a
Like why not?
boss one
Oh, go
time.
on.
I had a boss one time that I walked into the restroom and it was an old school building where like there was a trough. Okay. And like he was like Superman posed at the urinal.
Was he
And I'm
looking like?
like,
Was there a mirror? Was it a mirror type of situation?
no, no, there's no
That was just
mirror. I
his
was just
vibe.
like,
He was just throwing that bathroom shape.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck? It blew me the fuck away. But yeah, so
Manifesting just power, while taking a piss. Yeah, more power to
sure.
that.
That's what people do, I guess. Dude, Melissa, thank you so fucking much for being part of the Metal Forge this week. This has been awesome. I've had a fun time.
Same,
On our
same.
way out today, what would you like to play?
Let's do Accept Midnight Mover.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week, located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.